Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadidamastu Mavid Vishavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. And welcome to our next in the series of the 8-limb path. We are on the second limb. We are in the Niyamas, and we are into the second of the Niyamas. We've covered Santosha in the previous lesson, and today we're going to cover hopefully the next two Niyamas. We've got Santosha to cover, and we've got Tapas to cover. So without further ado, here's your call to action. You already know what's coming. If you find yourself enjoying this, if you find it entertaining, if you find it informative at all, please, it would do me so much help if you go ahead and just smash that like button. And if you would like to see more of these, if you've been enjoying the series, and if you would like to see more yoga knowledge going forward and yogasana, all the yoga stuff, all of it, everything yoga you're going to see here on this channel. So please subscribe. It would really help me out so very much. Okay, enough of that. I'm excited to talk to you guys today about the Niyamas, so let's just jump right on in. We've got the second Niyama, which is Santosha. And as we do with most of these words, we're going to break them down bit by bit, syllable by syllable, so that we get the entire understanding of it. And to understand Santosha, we have to actually know we don't have to know another word, but it helps to know another word as drishti. Drishti means to thirst. Okay, to thirst or to crave, to have a desire of some kind. And toshta is the opposite of that. That is to be fulfilled, to not thirst, to be satiated. Okay, san is complete. So santosha is completely fulfilled, completely satiated, content, perfectly content. In my teacher trainings, I have a couple different ways that I teach this. First, we start with it is absolute perfect contentment. There is no longing and there is no thought of loss. What you have is what you're meant to have, and it is perfect, exactly the way it is. Where you're meant to be in life is where you are in life, and it is perfect, exactly where you are. This is not easy for people to just jump into and practice. So one of the main things that I'm always asked is, how can I practice Santosha? How can I make myself feel content? And it's a great question. It's one of the more esoteric practices, because otherwise it is just fraudulent. It's just putting on a mask of gratitude or of contentment, but it's not real. So how can we practice this? How can we ingrain this into our mental patterns so that it replaces many of the other mental patterns that we might have? Things like stress, strife, worry, anxiety. Those will be immediately calmed if we can start to embed Santosha into our mind's eye. So, I've already said the word, it's gratitude. That's how we practice contentment. We are grateful. And in the yogic context of gratitude, we are taking it to the nth degree. I like to say that saying, counting your blessings, is something that yogis do at a truly professional level. You can count every breath as a blessing, every step as a blessing, every drop of water that touches your tongue, every bite of food, every morsel you digest, every single drop of blood in your body, every millimeter of nerve that is traveling through your body to keep you connected, everything. Every heartbeat, everything you can be grateful for. So why aren't you? That is the choice. And that's the practice of Santosha, to choose it, okay? To choose the gratitude. The sun rose. And some people might just say, yeah, the sun rose. Big deal. So what? Of course it rose. You've heard so many ways that the more cynical mentality will approach the phenomenon of this world around us, and will say things like, oh, a solar eclipse? Yeah, big deal. A solar eclipse just passed. Anyone that's empathetic knows it was anything but just a big deal. It really was a big deal. It was felt. And for those who could just observe it, be in awe of the grander component of our nature, Yeah, that's really, really meaningful, really powerful, potent things for us to observe, to contemplate, and to be grateful for. In such an intricate and detailed and nuanced existence, we get to experience things like that. Oh, such a blessing. But why not look at all the phenomenon of life, all the interactions with nature at that same level? That is when Santosha takes hold. It's a cloudy day, and I'm just so grateful. All those clouds covering the sun for some reason. Maybe it's raining somewhere. Oh, the plants are being satiated, and nature is enjoying this. Ah, so grateful. The sun is out, and the day is warm, and the breeze is there. So grateful. And everything in between. Okay? If you think of it in comparing it to the ocean, are we grateful to the ocean only when it's calm and quiet, peaceful in those early morning hours or on a windless day? No. We're also grateful for the ocean on the days where there's big crashing waves carving into the line of the coast and creating such incredible things like cliff edges or pulverizing stone into grains of sand so that we could have beaches. Everything can be made to be seen through the eyes of Santosha. Okay? Seen with contentment, seen with gratitude. Is this an easy practice? Any of these practices? Are they easy? No. I mean, some of them are more readily acknowledgeable, right? You're going to hurt an animal and you stop yourself. I'm not going to. You can be completely aware of the inappropriate nature of what you're about to do. But with something like Santosha, it's in the moment that it's the hardest where the practice actually matters most. You stub your toe. And rather than curse the corner that you stubbed your toe on and curse that damn toe, you're grateful. You're grateful that the toe sent you a signal through your nerve endings to let you know in the future not to walk that corner or step that way towards that thing. You're grateful for the thing that you stubbed your toe on itself because at least it taught you where to step, when to step, how to step, and it showed you that your body's signals are still firing on all cylinders, that no pain can be ignored or misunderstood, that it can be acknowledged, that it can be approached. The same thing goes with our mental patterns and days of sadness or anything of the sort, loss. We can stop ourselves and start to be grateful for the things that might lead us to those contemplations of loss. Okay? Example, a relationship of old. In the moment when you lost that person in your relationship, right, boyfriend or girlfriend or what have you, that felt like the end. But looking back years later, maybe you're in a new relationship, a healthy relationship, and you're just so grateful that in the moment you learned the lessons that you needed to from that person in that relationship. You carried the lessons and you left the person behind. That's Santosha. Not easy, because it's in the moment. So what we try to train is pulling back the timeline of when we can acknowledge the gratitude for the lesson and not the suffering. And eventually, in the moment. Okay, so you stub your toe so hard it breaks. You've got to take care of the broken toe. And once the toe is casted up and you've got pain meds, then you sit there and you're grateful. I'm grateful for that thing. Stub my toe. Now I know, take care of my feet, watch where I'm walking, whatever. Well, what if the moment you broke the toe, you were grateful? And yes, the casting of the toe still has to happen. The medication, because it's the nature of the body to feel the pain, that might still have to happen. But the disconnect of woe is me and the connection to that suffering is gone almost immediately. And the lesson itself is able to be grasped much, much sooner. So no, Santosha is not an easy practice. It's not like Saucha or Himsa, where these first steps are more simplistic to wrap our minds around. They're more approachable. They're acknowledgeable in the moment. And I know it's going to seem silly, but Saucha, ooh, I'm not clean. I'm not clean. I got to do something about this. In the moment, I can acknowledge it. But in the moment of my own mind, my own instrument, my own tool, sharing woe, sadness, sharing these thoughts, it's going to be very difficult to acknowledge an opportunity for a lesson and to infuse gratitude into that moment. But that's why it's not called yoga perfect. Never has been called yoga perfect, and it never will be called yoga perfect. It is yoga practice. All of this is a practice. And even if you've never stepped foot on a yoga mat, this is probably one of the most important practices you can infuse into your life. Be grateful. Count your blessings at an incredible, incredible extent. Be obnoxiously optimistic. Okay? I've been called that. Obnoxiously optimistic. Probably the best insult I've ever been given. Thank you. Stay that way. Obnoxiously grateful. Okay? That is Santosha. Tapas. Now, this is a real big kicker, and I don't know if I'll finish the lesson on tapas today, just like with the others, just like Santosha, for example. We just finished the Santosha lesson. I could go on for another hour. Okay, I could give you the lessons from the actual texts, could break down the word even more, could tell you where those words are being... No, we don't have to do all that. I'm giving you guys... I want to honestly give you an itch. I want you to itch for more knowledge. Go, look for it, seek it out. Find this in context in as many different places as you can, the ancient places. But yeah, take it for yourself, your own self-study. We'll get there. But the third, that's the fourth niyama, by the way, self-study. The third niyama is tapas. Very, very, very powerful. Tapas means fire. Okay, so right off the bat, we think, fire as part of my discipline? How? Physical fire? No. Well, maybe. If you get there, by all means, go for it. But only if that's, walking on coals, does physical fire become involved. Tapas for us is what we go through. Okay, what we go through and what we're willing to go through to gain. And what our goal is, what we're trying to gain, will directly correlate with what we'll go through. All right? You're in line for a really special meal. Okay? And there's a long, long line. Now, you're parked in that line. There's a grocery store right there. You could walk in, grab food, walk out, have food right there. No line. But the food that you're waiting for, the food that you've queued up for, it is of a divine type. And someone comes up to the window, they knock on the glass, you're in your car, they knock, they say, it's going to be an hour wait. No problem. Got my good music on. I'm good. I'm fine. I will wait this hour for that food. But what if it was like, I don't want to say any kind of food because it might be something that you like, but what if it's something that you didn't like and it was cooked with old ingredients, moldy ingredients? You're not waiting. You're not waiting for a minute for that goal to be fulfilled, let alone an hour, let alone a month, a year, a lifetime. Okay? So what is the goal? That will direct you towards what is your tapas? What do you have to go through? There are certain sects of yogis called tapasvis. Okay? And these tapasvis are those that put themselves through the most intense practices possible. All right? Their existence is intense. It's a struggle. And they've taken the concept of struggle equaling strength into that divine and individual construct. Okay? So, example, you want to get a better bench press or squat. You want to be able to squat or bench press more weight. How do you get there? Do you lift less than you are comfortable lifting, and you only do it a couple times and then you go home? Or do you have to become obsessed with pushing the envelope, putting more weight on the bar? And though you may not be able to do as many reps, you do what you can. And then a week later, it's more reps or more weight. And then further down the path, it's more reps or more weight, until finally you've reached your goal. That was not an easy path. That was not an easy route that you took, because the goal wasn't meant to be easy. Okay? So this can be correlated into any aspect of life. You want the top floor, corner of the building office in the whatever business you work in, well, then you're going to have to go through more than every other person in all the bottom floors and all the other offices. You're going to have to put yourself through more to get there. Okay? Now put it into divine constructs. Put it into self-realization, self-seeking, infinite peace, divine and unconditional bliss. That kind of a goal will require a lot. You'll have to go through a lot. A lot of what? Okay, well, a lot of studying, a lot of practicing. And just like that tapas V, you'll have to go through a lot of struggling in many different ways to gain the appropriate strength, the necessary strength for the later components of that journey. Okay? Let's say you're planning to do a triathlon. Yeah, triathlon. You're really, really good at swimming. You're incredibly proficient at swimming. You're decent at riding a bike, but you're not very good at running at all. Now, you know you've got 6 months to train for this triathlon. What do you put your focus towards? Because you know that running is going to be a part of it. You know that biking is going to be a part of it. So do you spend countless hours working in the pool and swimming and trying to carve off the milliseconds off of that swim? Or do you practice the running and the biking, the things that you aren't as proficient in, but your hope is to gain minutes off of that component of the race, because that's where you could actually gain? So what are you seeking? What are you struggling with? What are you less than proficient at? And what are you willing to go through? Because the second that person says, I'm going to put my effort into running so that I can carve off the minutes off that run, do they sit and think about it? Do they read books on how to run? Hope they already did that part. Do they watch other people run and talk about other people running? Critique other people running? No. They're out there running. They're putting in the work. They're putting their feet on the pavement, and they're going through it. But they trust that that suffering leads to strength. That struggle leads to strength. So in the same way, when you put your feet onto the path of yoga or any spiritual path, any path at all, really, even according to the things I was just mentioning, the weightlifting or the business status, we have to be willing to go through it. It's not always going to be easy. And on this path, my goodness, get ready, because you're going to walk on some coals with me. But by the time we theoretically walk on coals, we will have put on a fireproof suit. All right? The jnana, the knowledge that we gain and gather along this path, by the time we come to fire, it'll have prepared us perfectly for that. So stay on your path. Stay grateful, Santosha, and stay aware of the struggles you'll be having to go through for the goal that you one day hope to attain. And I can't thank you enough for watching, for sharing your time, for taking your time out of your day to watch this. And if you did make it this far, I hope you enjoyed. I really do. And if you did enjoy, please go ahead, hit that thumbs up button for me. It would be so very helpful. And if you'd like to see more, if you'd like to keep to date with all the teachings and continue down this 8-limb path series, go ahead and subscribe. I can't tell you how grateful I am for all of you. And yeah, see you in the next one. See you very soon. Let's close with mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadidamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Peace, peace, peace. Have a beautiful day, everyone.